Hey guys, this is Chrasilis, and this is a brief video explaining a little bit more about, how to get mana and the difference between certain items and what items are, where to get them, and all that other basic kind of stuff. And this was inspired to be my next video by TaiWow101 through a comment. So TaiWow, this is for you, and hopefully others out there who may be curious as to how you get better items. Now, generally speaking, there are 4 major tiers of equipment in the game these days, and we'll break that down first. So at level 74 you can equip mythic equipment, and at level 78 that goes to transcendent. I believe it's 83 for supreme if I'm not mistaken, and then 90 and above for all of the ultimate tier gear. Then after that, there's Ultimate Plus and Ultimate Plus Plus, which are level 100 pieces of equipment. Those are extremely rare, and it's very unlikely that you'll find many of those in your adventures, but if you do, they tend to be extremely good. Now, the difference between these different tiers of equipment are not only the stats that the equipment can roll with, but also the maximum amount of both the upgrade levels that can roll in the piece of equipment and the maximum amount per stat. So for example, a piece of mythic equipment has a maximum stat of 360 on any one stat, and then Ultimate Plus Plus goes all the way up to 999 on a stat. So it's a pretty big difference. That's also modified by the set bonuses, which are much higher based on the set. Like, I think I'm not exactly sure what they are, but I believe Mythic is a 30% bonus. I just don't know what the ones after that are. It's like between 30 and 50% or something like that, depending on the piece of equipment. At any rate, it's a pretty huge bonus for using all of the same pieces of equipment. Like if you have all pieces of mythic equipment and each piece is leather, you will get a bonus for having a full mythic set that is all leather. So with that out of the way, this is kind of a tough one right here. How to know how to price an item. That's not something that can necessarily be explained very easily. I would have to probably give somebody like an hour-long course or something like that to really give a full explanation on this topic. But you can see what kind of equipment has good stats just looking at it. Like if you want tower stats, you want to try to have as high as possible on all of your tower stats. And ideally, also having a bit of hero life is also a good bonus. The other stats aren't quite as important. If you can avoid negatives, I highly recommend it, obviously, but sometimes it's okay to have a little bit of a negative on your stats. But, like, for example, a typical tower stat will have, like, 200 plus life or something like that, and then whatever the max on the piece of equipment is for the attack stat, and then whatever, like 150 to 200, maybe 300 or something for, the range and fire rate stats. And this is using an apprentice as an example. Now that is for a mythic set. The values get much higher as you're getting to, higher tiers of equipment. And for weapons, the stats get all kinds of crazy and wonky, and it's a difficult thing to really break down. So for the actual stats of an item, you're kind of going to have to get a feel for the game more on your own for that one. Just kind of play and learn what stats can roll on an item. As far as good ways to find good items goes, really the best way to do that is survival, and that can be a tough one too, honestly. It's a pretty hard question to answer, but I can show you right here. Obviously the best place right now to get items is this, Winter Wonderland. If you check on survival mode, and these settings right here are exactly what you'll need to get the best equipment on any survival mode. Now, Nightmare can be very difficult, so when you're starting out, you might want to go to Insane, and maybe bring a buddy or two along with you and try to work together and just see what you guys can do. Maybe even do a hard mode on harder maps just to see what you can get to get Mythic gear. But typically, And just as an example, this map right here will give you an insane amount of pretty good mythic gear, even right away. Like after 1 or 2 rounds, I think it is. I know there's always at least 1 round in each survival, the first round at least, where nothing drops. There's nothing that drops. But it might be a period of 2 waves. I forget. It's been a few weeks now since I've done this. So excuse me for being a little bit sloppy here on this, but it's the first round or 2, nothing drops. But after that, equipment drops like crazy. So if you can get a group together that can do something like this, or whatever else, like Tavern Defense is a very popular one to do right now. It gives some pretty good equipment. Over here in the Eternia Shards, Karathaki Jungle, or Karathiki Jungle rather, is good for that. Aquanos is one of the most famous ones for that. All those places will give you really good mythic gear with a chance for pretty good transcendent gear. And the way this works is, as you would probably expect, the higher the wave, the higher the chance for higher tier equipment to drop. So typically the last 5 waves are where the best equipment drops, and obviously the final wave is where you have the highest chance for the most the most good equipment. So that's an important factor. And now the other 2 factors over here are whether or not you do normal survival, whether or not you have hardcore on, and whether or not it's pure strategy or mixed mode. Now, a brief explanation of this: pure strategy allows you to go. You can't take any damage, but you cannot damage enemies. Only your towers can. But there are other stipulations as well that make this pretty challenging. You cannot build new towers in the middle of a round. You can repair and you can upgrade, but you cannot build a brand new tower in the middle of a wave. So only between waves can you do those things. So it makes it extremely difficult. However, it is quite a bit easier, but the loot suffers. You have the lowest chance of getting good loot out of any type of survival mode there. Hardcore mode, standard thing. Yeah, you just have a higher chance across the board. They're all maps, all modes. Hardcore mode just gives you better drops, and it gives you more experience. So the other option is mixed mode. Now mixed mode is the big one. It makes things extremely difficult. Enemies can kind of come out of anywhere, like ogres and goblin copters and stuff like that can just kind of come from anywhere, and it just gets really crazy. Enemies are hard, have more health and all that. They just come from everywhere. But it has the best loot drop chance of any other mode. So it's the hardest, but you have the high risk, high reward factor. And that's pretty much how that works. Really that's all there is to it. As far as item prices go, that really is that's a biggie. It's hard to know what an item is actually going to sell for. It might be easy to figure out an item's value if it's a big ticket item. There are companion cube pets that you get for. I will show you these challenges right here. Let me go down here. If you look, starting right here. These challenges, all of these right here, you can always pause the video and take a look through them if you need to. All of those and all of these challenges right here, except for the PvP ones. You do not have to do here. All of here is PvP or Tower Wars. But these 5 and everything on this page, if you complete all of those, you will get, all of those on Nightmare, I believe, you will unlock a companion cube pet the next time you go to your tavern. These tend to sell for anywhere between 40 and 60 billion mana a piece. Now those companion cubes kind of replace currency when trading for bigger ticket items. So if you find, a really crazy piece of equipment you want, somebody might want like 2 or 4 companion cubes or something for it instead of mana, because it's easier to trade. And that's generally how that works. So if you want good equipment, the best thing to do is to build up a surplus of mana by farming what you can, and then after that sell some decent mythics if you get lucky. Anywhere between like 1 million and 10 million is the going rate for mythics. I have not seen one sell for more than 10 million for quite a long time. Transcendents can sometimes also go for anywhere from 5 to 10 million, but I've seen those go for upwards of maybe 100 million. And beyond that, things can sell up to the maximum, which is 600 million mana per piece. And then it goes into companion cubes and then trading and all that stuff. Just look out for PayPal shops. People try to sell stuff for real money, and that is illegal. It's against the terms of service, and you should report people who do that immediately. That's what Trendy tells everybody, and that's what I stand by. It's definitely something that should be reported. And that's about all I can tell you guys on this subject. I mean, I can't really think of any other kind of easy ways to earn anything, but really the best thing to do is play with some friends. Make friends. Maybe find people who have higher level characters that wouldn't mind running you through a higher level survival, or giving you some, spare gear when they do a survival. That way you have some stuff. But until then, just good luck, I guess. It's pretty tough when you first start playing in this game. Good equipment is pretty rare, and it takes a long time to build it. But after you have that first good set, it's all pretty simple, because you can just transfer that set between characters if you need to, and you can join in other survival games, and you can just do what you need to do. And that's pretty much the general strategy of it. So that's about all there is to it. Thank you for listening to me ramble, guys. I hope this answered all of your questions as of now, TaiWow 101. And if you want me to add any more information to this, feel free to let me know. Thank you guys for watching. I know I've been rambling a lot in this video, but I hope the information was solid enough for you. I hope this has helped some or all of you. And if you enjoyed this, please give it a like. It helps more than you know. If you want to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe. And that's it for now. Have a great day, guys.